On this Ram 1500 Classic with the 3.6 Pentastar, P0175 means the PCM is seeing fuel system 2/1 running rich. In plain language, the computer may be pulling fuel because that bank is getting more fuel than the feedback system expects. The driver may notice a MIL, and if the truck has stop/start, that system can be disabled while the code is active. This can come from fuel delivery, purge flow, restricted air or exhaust, engine mechanical issues, MAP input, oxygen sensor wiring, the oxygen sensor itself, connector problems, or in the last step, the PCM. Start with the basic system checks, then follow the diagnostic path in order. Before chasing the fault, make sure you can reproduce the operating conditions. The monitor is a gate, engine running in closed-loop fuel control, battery voltage above 11.0 volts, barometric pressure greater than 75 kPa, ambient temperature above -7 degrees C, 20 degrees F, fuel level greater than 12%, and altitude below 2,590. 8M, 8,500 FT. The fuel control target is based around a stoichiometric air/fuel mixture of 14.7.1. For this code, when the sum of short-term and long-term fuel corrections drops below a calibrated threshold, generally 67% with 100% as nominal, the fail timer starts counting. After 30 seconds of fail time, the diagnostic fails. Start the engine, then operate or test drive the vehicle under the conditions that allow the monitor to run. Use the scan tool to read and record the codes. If P0175 is active or pending, continue with the rich condition path. If it is not active or pending, handle it as an intermittent condition. Use the captured conditions to help duplicate when it originally set, but do not force a conclusion if the fault is not present. Next, look at the rest of the recorded codes. If other fuel or air handling system faults are active or pending, check what they mean first. This rich code can be influenced by oxygen sensor circuits, MAP input, fuel injector behavior, ignition-related issues, and other mechanical, fuel, or air handling problems. If there are no other active or pending faults in those groups, continue with the P0175 path. Now check the exhaust side. Start the engine and verify there is good exhaust flow at the tailpipe. Then visually inspect the exhaust system for damage that could create a restriction. If you find a restriction or damage that explains the rich condition, make the appropriate repair and verify the repair. If the exhaust checks out, move on. The next stop is MAP sensor operation. Run the MAP sensor operation test for this vehicle. If that test finds a problem, repair it as necessary and verify the repair. If the MAP sensor operation test does not find a problem, continue to the purge check. Turn the ignition off and disconnect the hoses at the purge solenoid. With a hand vacuum pump, apply 5.0 in Hg to the engine side of the purge solenoid. The solenoid should hold vacuum for a minimum of 15 seconds. If it holds vacuum, reconnect the vacuum hoses before continuing, then move to the fuel delivery check. If it does not hold vacuum, first verify good pentaterminal contact at the evap purge solenoid and PCM connectors. If the connectors check good, the path calls for replacing the purge solenoid, then verifying the repair. After the purge solenoid check, test the fuel delivery system. If the fuel delivery test finds a problem, make the appropriate repair and verify it. If no problem is found in fuel delivery, continue into the mechanical checks. Now look for mechanical conditions that can drive the rich correction. The air induction system has to be free from restrictions. Valve timing and compression need to be within specification, and the fuel has to be free of contamination. If a leaking injector or abnormal spray pattern is suspected, remove the fuel rail with the injectors intact, energize the fuel pump to maintain pressure in the rail, and check for leakage before the suspect injector is actuated. Then actuate the suspect injector or injectors with the scan tool, inspect the spray pattern, and compare it with the others. If you find a mechanical or injector issue, repair it and verify. If not, Continue to the upstream oxygen sensor wiring. For the upstream oxygen sensor wiring check, disconnect the upstream oxygen sensor harness connector and the PCM-C2 harness connector. Do not probe the PCM harness connectors. Probing them can damage the PCM terminals and create a poor terminal-to-pin connection. Install the GPEC Diagnostic Adapter. GPEC Diagnostic 10436, and check the upstream oxygen sensor circuits between the oxygen sensor connector and PCM-C2 for a short to ground, an open or high resistance. If you find a wiring problem, repair it and verify. If the wiring checks good, move on to oxygen sensor operation. Run the oxygen sensor operation test. If that test finds a problem, repair it as necessary and verify the repair. If the oxygen sensor operation test does not find a problem, continue to the connector and terminal inspection before making any final call. At this point, inspect the related connections carefully. Disconnect all PCM connectors, any related inline connectors if equipped, and the related component connectors. Look for improper seating, damaged locks, corrosion, water intrusion, whether seal damage, bent terminals, overheated or discolored terminals from poor connection, push-back terminals, spread terminals, and poor terminal tension. Repair any conditions you find. Then reconnect the PCM connectors, any inline connectors, and the related component connectors, making sure everything is fully seated and locked. Erase the codes, operate or test drive the vehicle under the monitor conditions, and read the codes again. If P0175 returns after the full path and connector checks, the diagnostic path calls for replacing and programming the PCM, then verifying the repair. If the code does not return after the connector work, treat it as a poor connection repair and verify that the code stays gone. Keep verification separate from the testing steps. The job is not finished until the repair is confirmed under the same type of operating conditions that ran the monitor. Takeaway: follow the rich condition path in order. Prove the fuel, air, exhaust, mechanical, sensor, wiring, and connector checks before making the final PCM call. For more diagnostic training, visit stepdiagnostics.com.